Hello, welcome to Have a Go, and I'm Alan. Today we're going to start casting the tailstock for the lathe, both an actual part, this will be the part that slides along the bed, and the tool. This will be necessary when I make the sand core, because when I cast this there will be a sand core going through the hollow part in here when I mould it, so that I won't have to drill out a giant 16mm hole all the way through this much aluminium. This will be simple bedding on this one. Kat's not sure what the heck I'm doing, only that I'm mad. And she hasn't quite worked out how to weaponize the madness into extra cat biscuits. Temperature currently 0 degrees, and according to the Met Service feels like -5 degrees Celsius. Once I've got the two moulds rammed up, it should be a lot hotter. It's too cold for this. Yamo thinks I should post extended cut footage of the entire preparation of the sand mould, and not just the speed clips version that I normally post. I think it'd be monumentally boring. Yamo thinks it'd be interesting. I do the editing, so I get final choice, but let me know what you think in the comments. I've still got Tina Turner stuck in my head. Watching Beyond Thunderdome last night probably doesn't help with that. Don't hugely mind, because even in real life, Auntie Entity was a tough lady. I just realised I didn't put any blimmin' parting powder in. It's not going to separate. Let's try that again properly. Alright, add parting powder, because yes, I can learn. I'm just a simple meat worker, but I can learn. Venting at the pouring basin. Yep. Cut the gate before I go any further. Blow them out so I don't get any inclusions. That's one done. This one will be a single rollover. Fun bit of trivia for you. These flasks I've made up, these small ones hold a bit less than 20 litres worth of sand. The things I do. I think I'll put a feeder in as well. I know they talk about how branding is important. I wonder if my blue gloves are part of my brand, because I always wear them when I'm making videos, apart from that book one. Although they don't always last without getting holes in them, I admit. There's a line in Gingery's book that I always think of when I'm doing this. He says that it's possible to under-ram a mould so the sand is too loose, and it's possible to over-ram a mould so the sand is too hard. Gingery himself says that he tends to ram too hard because coke dropout brings out bad language in him. Now to see if I've been wasting my time. With the amount of draft I put on that pattern, I'm not surprised it pulled so well. Right, now go and fire up the burner. I've got a good feeling about this one. There's a shrink defect, but hopefully that'll be covered up by the 2-inch plate that will go across the top of this, and it won't matter, hopefully. I don't really want to cast it again. The pads on the bottom have come out good though. This came out very nice. Bit of filing work and that'll see this one right, I think. Round file along here. Belt sander on the flat faces. Should be a good one. I should have put a feeder on that base casting as well in hindsight, because you can see from the dishing there how the feeder did feed this part. That's the focus. That's the gate feeder there. You can see the gate to the feeder, how it actually shrank in the process of feeding it. Yep, that was enough. Alright, the other two I'm going to use a bandsaw. I did that first one the hard way because there was an overhang with the pouring basin casting and it would have impacted it. I truly need to find a proper home for this. Moving this sander around is a penance in search of a sin. I love the belt sander and how easy it makes my life, but the amount of mess it can kick up in an instant is beyond belief. This is how the tailstock base came out. Didn't bother sanding this part because it looks okay on its own and it's not a bearing surface. I didn't sand any of the bottom because I want to do this by hand, not with the rough-o-meter. The sides came out nice, mostly cosmetic, I admit. And being that they're cosmetic, it doesn't matter if they're not perfectly flat. As for this, I should get away with it. I'm going to cut a section of this that will go along the top here. Yes, I need to clean this steel up a bit. So that'll go along the top and it will cover most of that blimmin' void up. It will also be supported on both ends, so it should be a good one. And yes, I'm going to clean this up. So I'll sand this back, scrape these in, the wear pads in, sort out a locking bolt to go on here, and put the 2-inch cold rolled steel across the top. This one, on the other hand, just about every surface on this is cosmetic, except for this groove here. So This isn't going to be a perfectly round, but I'm not worried about that. That's good enough for rock and roll. Use the drill as a remat. I didn't want to have to use a drill, but you forced me. Right, so these go together. I put the sand core mixture in and ram it in. Like I was saying, I get the sand core mixture, ram it in till it's all the way up. Then I poke a hole through the length of it with a bit of piano wire or something. I haven't quite worked that part out. I separate this carefully to get a nice round sand core here with the piano wire going through the middle. I leave one piano wire in and I take the other one out to leave a vent. Now at this point the sand core mixture will be the right shape I want, but it'll still be very soft, too soft to actually use. So I'll take this core plate that we've just finished making, carefully put it on here so it matches up, turn it over, lift this off, and now my round sand core will be sitting on here. I can take this, pop it in the oven and let it bake for an hour to harden the sand core that we've just prepared. And once it's hard, I can use it to ram or make the mould for the top of the tailstock. So that's how that's going to work. I think I'll touch up the writing on this. Hey, now when I take it apart again, I'll remember what sides go with which, and not this way around. It goes this way around so I can read it when it's back together. Cunning, huh? I'm not going to prepare the sand core this week because I don't want to leave it sitting for a week to absorb moisture, which will make it go soft. So I'm going to prepare it the night before I cast this piece. One last bit of preparation I have to do is to make some dowling plugs to go into the end of this. Ansel was like, "Is that it?" Sand the end of this so it'll go in a bit easier. That should do it. Yes, these are different lengths. No, I don't care. So I'll cast this, and the sand will be about here-ish. And I'll pull it out the mould, and it'll leave a hollow there, along there. So I'll take the sand core that I've prepared using this, yoink. I'll put it in the hollow left there, so it should work out. Hopefully when I cast this you'll see what I mean. So that's the first bit of preparation of actual metal for the tailstock. Next job will be finishing the top of this, what I can, and putting the length of cold roll steel on. Then the bottom of this will be scraping in these wear pads, putting on wear clamps, and then putting on 2 Gibbs screws there, and putting a bolt here to go all the way through this. Here's a through hole where it will thread into the clamp that will screw onto here. The idea being that when you want to clamp the tailstock into position, you'll tighten up the bolt here, tighten, it'll go through here and pull the wear clamp up tight like a toiger against the lathe bed, which will anchor the tailstock in place. take these inside. You'll get to see the Have a Go kitchen when I prepare the sand core in a couple of videos. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.